Welcome friends. We all know about biological nitrogen fixation is carried out by symbiotic nitrogen fixer, that is rhizobium. Bacteria of the genus Rhizobium are found in the root nodules of legumes. Rhizobia actually forms root nodules on legumes which produces nitrogen fixing symbiosis. Now we all know symbiotic nitrogen fixation enables the growth of host plants in soil that would otherwise be nitrogen limiting. Even in nitrogen starved soils, rhizobia approach the plant roots and they are invaders here as called. At first, what happens is the plant root secretes flavonoids, as we can see in the diagram. These flavonoids, that is 2-phenyl-1,4-benzopyrone derivatives, now stimulate several nod factors, that is nod metabolites, by bacteria. So flavonoids are secreted by plants, which act as inducers so that bacteria, here rhizobium, secretes nod factors. These nod factors control infection specificity. Then attachment of bacterial cells to root hair occurs. It involves specific bacterial proteins called adhesins and host plant lectins. Lectins are carbohydrate binding proteins that affect pattern of attachment and nod gene expressions. We can see here the structure of nod. They consist of beta-1,4 linked N-acetyl D-glucosamine backbone with 4 or 5 residues. Here the highlighted part is non-reducing N-fatty acyl glucosamine. This is node A and node B. The second highlighted part is node H. Node genes are located cluster-wise. Okay, and we can see here that node D actually controls the transcription of other node genes, whereas node F encodes a specific acyl carrier protein, which is used to acylate the node factor specified by the node A. Well, node E and L are responsible for determining the host range, that which host it will affect, and node M is involved in nod factor synthesis, whereas node I and node J are also there, which helps to export nod factors from the rhizobium cells. Now we have just learned that the structure of nod consists of beta-1,4 linked N-acetyl D-glucosamine backbone with 4 or 5 residues. Depending upon the rhizobial species, the structure of the acyl chain can vary, and substitutions at the reducing or non-reducing terminal glucosamine residues can always be present. Now back to the original topic. We have learned that plants secrete flavonoids. Actually, these flavonoids bind to the bacterial proteins nod D. And as we have just now learned that these nod D activates the transcription of nod genes. These nod genes encode biosynthesis of enzymes needed for production of nod factor signaling components. These nod factors now bind to the receptor. Here it's epidermal cells of roots. This results in oscillation in the levels of intracellular calcium, which is also called calcium spiking. That is, has been spiked. Now this calcium spiking triggers the root hairs to curl. So this nod factor promotes root hair curling and plant cortical cell division. As we can see in this figure, the cortical cell division undergoes at the later stage of infection. This nod factors first enters the root hairs and migrate to their nuclei, and then root hair deformation occurs. Now as it has entered the root hair cells, bacterial penetration into the cell starts and infection thread growth occurs, and nodule formation occurs. Now cell to cell spread of rhizobia through transcellular infection thread, which is followed by the release of rhizobia and infection of host cell is seen. Actually, bacteria produces a symbiotically active exopolysaccharide which induces change in the plant cell wall so that the plant plasma membrane invaginates. Now, what will happen that this leads to the development of a bacteria-filled infection thread, as you can see in the diagram. Now, plant cell division drives the growth of infection thread naturally. Now, as the root hair cells base has been penetrated already, we can see in the diagram, infection thread can easily grow. This is also dependent on a plant hormone. The hormone is very common. We all have heard of that hormone, that is cytokinin, which is in concert with this acts in concert with nod factor stimulation. Finally, bacteroid formation occurs. Now you will ask, what is bacteroid? Actually, bacterial cell differentiates into nitrogen fixing form, and these are called bacteroids. Okay, now this bacteroids differentiates into nitrogen fixing symbiomes. Look carefully in the diagram. We can see the symbiosome production. This symbiosome contains the nitrogen fixing bacteroid. Ultimately, low levels of oxygen within symbiosomes triggers a regulatory cascade that controls nitrogen fixation. This assembly of many symbiosomes gives rise to nodule formation, that is root nodules. Now, the reduction of atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia, which is done in biological nitrogen fixation actually, by differentiated bacteroids depends on the production of a protein, and that protein's name is leg hemoglobin. Achha, we all know that nitrogenous enzyme is disabled by oxygen. Okay, so to protect nitrogenous enzyme, actually leg hemoglobin binds to oxygen, and it actually helps to maintain the microaerobic conditions in the mature nodules. Nitrogenous is actually responsible for nitrogen fixation. So leg hemoglobin protects its inactivation. How? Actually, leg hemoglobin binds to the oxygen and helps to maintain microaerobic conditions. Now we need to transfer ammonia from the rhizobium to the host plant. The plant actually provides certain amino acids to the bacteroids so that they do not need to assimilate ammonia. And in return, the bacteroids shuttle amino acid back to the plants. This bacteria also requires carbon and energy this bacteria also receives carbon and energy from their host legumes in form of dicarboxylic acid. Now there are several future prospects in regarding to this. We can modify rhizobium to form functional nodules even in non-leguminous plants. We all have learned just now that rhizobium does in leguminous plants only. So we can modify rhizobium in such a way, biogenetic engineering, that it will produce nodules in non-leguminous plants too. Also, we can introduce these nitrogen fixation genes into plants that do not form such associations. But for that, we need to stop considering these things as boring topics, which most of us consider. Learn in a different way, study in a different way. You will find even these things interesting. It's all about signaling molecules and it's all about genetics. Here we learned about different node genes. This is not at all boring. So thank you. If you have any suggestion or if you have any query, you can ask me in the comment box. Thank you.